Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So if you follow me over on Instagram, then you may already know the exciting news that I've been keeping a secret, and that is I'm pregnant. So by the time this video goes up, I am 16 weeks pregnant. I'm into my second trimester, and Max and I are very excited to be welcoming a baby into the world in the next year. So I thought with today's video, I would kind of just chit chat with you about the exciting news, give you an update on what that means for photography and this YouTube channel, and then show you a little behind the scenes of how I created my baby announcement stop motion. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so baby update. Like I said in the introduction, I am 16 weeks pregnant. We found out that I was pregnant back at Thanksgiving, which in Canada is actually early October. And two of the most common questions I get asked by people that find out that we're pregnant is, one, when do we tell our family? So we told like my parents, my brothers, my husband's parents and siblings early on, only because we knew we weren't going to be able to hide it very well. Just between like family dinners and get-togethers and stuff like that, it was going to be difficult for us to hide the pregnancy. And so we decided to tell them like within a week or 2 weeks of finding out. I think it was like 2 weeks of finding out ourselves, we ended up telling them, just so we didn't have to play the game of trying to hide the pregnancy. But we waited to tell like grandparents, aunts and uncles, majority of our friends, stuff like that, until after like a couple weeks into like our second trimester. The second question that I get asked a lot is, how have I been feeling? So with the first trimester, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a lot of morning sickness. That wasn't my biggest issue with my first trimester. My issue was my energy levels. So basically, you all know that like in September, October, Max and I were house hunting, trying to close on a house. And then in November, we were moving into our house. And so those like months were just kind of really busy and stressful with trying to move into like our current place. And of course, I was in my first trimester, and the biggest, like, I guess, symptom side effect I had of like early pregnancy was energy levels. I really didn't have much energy, to be honest. Most afternoons, I was like having to nap anywhere from like half an hour to 2 hours, depending on how much time I had. And if I didn't take a nap, then I was absolutely exhausted by 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was still sleeping like 10 to 12 hours every single night. I was so tired all of the time in my first trimester. And it really sucked that I didn't have a lot of energy. And I still don't have a lot of energy to do a lot of things. I don't have a lot of energy to like do a lot of photography and YouTube right now, because any energy that I had left over in like September, October, or November was put towards like either getting stuff ready for the house, like trying to get the house put together, or other adulting tasks that we have to do. With having a baby, there's so many like prenatal doctor's appointments and ultrasounds and blood draws and just things that you have to do. And so it's been really busy and really hectic with like all of that, and then trying to settle in the house and not having a lot of energy, which kind of brings me into like the next part of today's video, which was giving you a bit of a photography and channel update. Because I haven't had a lot of energy for the past few months, I haven't done a lot of photography. So for the past like 2 months, I think I've only gone out twice, and they were like short 30-minute walks outside to do some sort of like outdoor photography. I haven't done a lot. So I'm hoping with my second trimester, they constantly tell you that in your second trimester, you get some of your energy back, and it's one of the best trimesters. And so I'm hoping soon I'll get that second trimester energy so I can rededicate some time to like photography and this YouTube channel, because it's difficult a lot of the time. A lot of the time, I don't have energy during the week to create a video or edit the video or anything like that. So it's a real task for me to try and kind of create weekly videos. And I think over the past 3 months, I only missed like one upload, and I think I was late on a couple weeks of uploads. So I'm not doing too bad for having like lack of energy levels, but I am hoping I will get some back and I can start creating like better YouTube videos and doing more photography and stuff like that. I have made it a goal, kind of like I have like a 30-day challenge that I'm trying to do for myself to kind of get back on track with photography and this YouTube channel, rededicate some time to it all, like really move the needle forward when it comes to my photography. So I am starting slowly day by day to feel a little bit more energetic in the afternoons and not require a nap in the afternoons. So I'm hoping to kind of rededicate some time to doing photography. And right now I've just been trying to get back into creating stop motions because it's fall and winter. Not all that inspired to get outside right now, so I've been creating stop motions indoors because that's kind of the cozy area where I am in. I like being like warm and cozy during this pregnancy, I'm not gonna lie. So I've already created like 1 stop motion. I'm trying to create 5 stop motions by the end of December and then create like a collection of 15 stop motions within the next month. But that's when it comes to like photography. Something I am really looking forward to is newborn photography. So of course with the baby, I'm so excited with newborn photography. I've been watching like a lot of videos, I've been reading a lot of articles, I've been on Pinterest trying to study up on newborn photography because I really want to take some good newborn photos of our baby. One of the sources that has been my favorite for newborn photography is Sandra Cohen. I found her through B&H's series 21 Questions, and she is an indoor studio newborn photographer, and she creates stunning newborn photography using a film camera. And so I've really loved her work, and so I've been kind of like reading up on a lot of her content and just trying to consume and teach myself now how to do newborn photography, so when the baby comes, hopefully I can get some good photos of our baby. So I'm really excited about adding that new aspect of my life into my photography. When it comes to the YouTube channel, I'm continuing to aim for weekly uploads. That is still my goal. It's been my goal for like a long time, is just to be consistent and do weekly uploads. So I'm gonna continue try doing that. But please understand that if I do miss a weekly upload, it's likely because 1, I didn't have a lot of energy that week to create one, or 2, things got really hectic busy. Some weeks are really busy with like just prenatal appointments and I just didn't have time to create a video, but I am aiming for like weekly uploads. And then of course you're gonna see some new content on the channel. Now I don't want to overload this channel with like newborn and family content, like baby content. I don't want to overload the channel because that's not what this channel is about. But because I am entering this new chapter of our life, new aspect of my life, I think it's fair to say that my content is going to reflect some of the changes that I'm undergoing. And so yeah, I don't want to take over the channel, but you are going to see some new content regarding like family and newborn photography and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of just like an update when it comes to the photography side of things and the YouTube side of things. Moving on to the last bit of today's video, I really wanted to show you a behind the scenes of how I created my baby announcement stop motion. So I'm going to actually take you over to the area that I created my stop motion, and I'll show you how I created it. All right, so this is my makeshift setup for creating this baby announcement stop motion. I don't have the proper setup right now because I'm waiting for my furniture pieces to come in. So I kind of had to makeshift a setup. I'm using this like bin here that I actually use for all my Christmas storage. And then for the tripod, I actually don't have a proper overhead tripod where you can actually go overhead like that and face down. So I had to take my current tripod that I own, just lean it up against the bin here, extend this third leg so I can kind of mimic an overhead look. So when it comes to creating the stop motion, this setup here is a very common like baby announcement photo idea. You'll see it everywhere on Pinterest. You have a bunch of baby items with a caption, very, very common. And I wanted to add like a little bit of flair because I do like it. I think you could really personalize kind of this setup to you and your family. So I really like it, but I wanted to add like a little bit of a flair to it. And so of course I love creating stop motion, so I decided to include a stop motion element. So what I did is I laid out all of our baby items that we've been collecting so far for our baby, and I used these Scrabble pieces that I actually purchased a Scrabble board specifically so I can create stop motions with it. So I took all of the letters out and I did Baby McLeod coming soon. And when you are creating stop motions like this, you're actually going to move these pieces out of the frame just kind of like that, very slowly, incrementally, and you're going to keep doing it until all of the letters move out of the frame. And then in post, you're actually going to reverse the process, so it looks like the letters are coming into the frame to create the final saying. You can of course leave it the way it is. You can leave it as, you know, it coming out of the frame, but I kind of wanted it to come into the frame and then repeat the process on the video, so like it was a little bit of a longer stop motion clip. But that is essentially all I did for creating the stop motion. It really didn't take terribly long. It probably took me anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to create, between kind of getting all of the shots, pulling them into my laptop, editing them, and then pulling them together in iMovie. And I just paired the stop motion with like a little lullaby that I found, and that's it. So Max and I are very excited about the baby, about entering this new chapter of our life. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below and I'll try and get to them. We're also closing in on Christmas, you guys. So by the time this video goes up, like Sunday night or Monday afternoon, we're like less than a week away from Christmas. So I really hope that you all have a great holiday. I probably won't be posting the next video until after Christmas, just because Christmas is on Saturday. So I probably won't post for Saturday. It might go up Sunday or Monday, but I really hope you have a great holiday, that you have a great time with your family and friends, and you just kind of cherish and enjoy each other's company. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.